Hello, my name is Karen Drake, and this is my presentation on attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. What is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD? There's a premonitive inactive type. These students are daydreamers. They don't hear instructions from your teacher. They skip parts of an assignment because they don't notice them. They're always losing things, and they don't move as fast or more than their peers do. There's predominantly hyperactive impulsive type. These students are all over the classroom, up out of their seats, blurting out, acting or speaking before thinking. They tap pencils, fingers, in their desks. Then there's the combined type. This group show characteristics of both. Sometimes they could skip parts of an assignment. Sometimes they're not focused on the teacher's directions. They daydream, or they can just be up out of their seats or in their desks doing whatever, or blurting out answers or something. They show signs of both types. Interventions for students with ADHD. There's behavioral interventions. In the classroom, you need to make sure you're using a very tight structure for these students, not changing the routine of their day. Make sure you're verbally praising the students when they're doing what's expected of them at that time. Don't wait. Give them stickers for the students that seem to skip parts of an assignment. Make sure that you put a sticker on their work and maybe a little note. Thank you for making sure that you got all of the assignment done and not just part of the assignment. This lets the student know that we approve of the behaviors that we are looking for. There are times when you may have to use reprimands or consequences, and make sure that they are not over the top and not out of the norm that you would give a student with a disability. And don't use them very often. Most time these students do not understand what they are doing. It's out of their control. And when using a reprimand, make sure you use clear wording, and also that your words are calm, so not to confuse them or aggravate the situation. We don't want little Johnny, where he's already feeling like he's a little bit out of control, for us to use words that are loud or demeaning or mean, because he's not understanding himself what's going on in his own mind. There's parent education. Parents need to learn how to create strategies to help their children with their behaviors. The ones, if they're not focused, maybe they can focus their attention someplace else while listening to the teacher. Make sure those are just a strategy that's going to take time. It's not a learned strategy that's going to happen overnight. Us as educators, we need to make sure that the student is focused on what's being taught and our directions at the time. And they can include strategies for discipline in the home, rewards, and the consequences in the home. And parents can communicate what work well at home to us educators, so that we can maybe use a same form of reward or discipline or consequences in the classroom. And then with us as educators, we can pass those tips on to other educators. Parents can also help their children by giving them tips to make friends, keep friends, and how to work with adults in the classroom, in the school, and school staff, just regarding staying focused, helpful, and listening closely when possible. There's medication for students with ADHD, and it's the most common treatment for these students. And there's about 70% of 6 million children that have been diagnosed with ADHD, ranging in ages from 4 to 17, that take medication for their ADHD. Many children that take the stimulant for their ADHD also take another type of medication, like a depression medication or an anxiety medication. So these students have a lot going on in their body chemically. So they're also brought up and then also taken down so they're not so jittery. The medications have to balance one another out. Academic interventions. Try to only emphasize essential information for these students. Don't get sidetracked and go onto a side conversation. The students will get confused or just block you out. When reading for comprehension, they tend to perform better with shorter passages than longer ones. So maybe break your lesson up into smaller chunks of, if you can, would help them. Don't give them a long passage, and hopefully they get it. Maybe make time during the day for them to read smaller portions. In math, give them extended time periods to complete the work, because of their attention problems can interfere, and it makes it where their efficiency is not as great. In large groups, keep the pace upbeat and helpful. Give them opportunities to participate in trading answers with a partner and working with manipulatives. Repeat answers as a class after one student has responded. That way the student can hear it from a peer, but they can also hear it from you. So maybe twice. Hopefully the key is one of those 2 times they will hear it and grasp it. There's environmental support, which would be avoiding distractions in the classroom. Don't have your art supplies where they are easily accessible for the student. If they want to draw, keep those things in another area. Don't have things hanging from the ceiling, because they're going to be focused on that. If you have one that likes to have a student that likes to look out the window and daydream, maybe keep the blinds closed. Don't have too many books on the student's desk. And then have clear rules and keep routines for the class. If you do happen to have a routine that's disrupted, make sure you let the student know beforehand. That seems, in my situation when working with these students, that seems to help, by talking to them and letting them know that there's going to be a change in the routine, and asking them, what could you do to help them during that transitional period? Families with children with ADHD, families with children, they use many different strategies to deal with their behaviors and consequences. It's not a one-size-fits all with these students and children. Families know them a lot better than we do, so they know what's going to work. They can communicate that to us. And when having a child with ADHD or other academic issue in the classroom or illness, it's going to create more stress for the family and those that work with the child. Those things can cause problems. So we just need to tell families it's not about us, it's about the child, and that we need to support and help them the best way that we can. And don't blame the parents for the child's behaviors. Parents are doing the best they can with these students and children. They sometimes will dismiss the child's behavior as they can't help it. That's true, but there's inappropriate behavior that we need to help get under control, maybe focus in another different way. So don't tell the parents that it's okay just because of the student's diagnosis. Those things are not always within their control, and they get tired, and it's easier sometimes to overlook those things. Thank you for watching.